I'm Channing Dawson with Scripps Networks Interactive. I've been involved in interactive TV since '95. And I've watched Tracy build this great show for the last 6 years. It's interesting because it's a confluence of the best of the business here, and of all the shows I've been to, it's the most vibrant and it's the most interesting. And it catches the current that's going on, which is ITV, if it's not back, it's on its way back. But we have a whole different model now because we've got incredible facilities on the web driving this at the same time that the cable operators are opening up the opportunity to establish some interactivity. Do I think it's there yet? The business models aren't there yet. The programming models aren't there yet. What I would really like to see is more work on the creative side, on the programming side. A lot of the efforts so far are in the navigation sides of interactive TV and on the advertising side, and I think that's all well and good. But I think the real challenge of ITV is the interactive storytelling and the dimensionality of video and the dimensionality of the new stories that we can tell on this rich medium. And if there's anything I'd like to see, it's an investment in more of that on the programming side and on the rich opportunities that we can bring to storytelling. In this season, there seems to be an optimism and a true opportunity, and there's enough work being done and people are making money at it that says that I think this is the one where ITV is actually going to make it. So this optimism has given rise to this idea that we somehow can defeat or minimize the influence of the cable operators, and I think that's a false idea. I think they are running the show, and I think anything we have to do in ITV will go through their plant. I do think there's an over-the-top. I also think there's some interesting web things, but the naivete about the web beating television is just that. It's a naivete. It's not going to happen. It'll be an interesting mashup, but cable and television is a very powerful force, and it will continue to be for the next 10 to 15, 20 years. We have to prove that the cable operators can make money at this and that it increases their business. I think the biggest opportunity they're looking at is obviously the local ad sales. And the opportunity of interactive advertising on television enhances the local ad sale almost more than it enhances the national sale. There's now standards. EBIF is written. There's lots of good standards out there that are going to allow the foundation, the sort of the fertilization of ITV to happen. I think the cell phone is incredibly important and the laptop incredibly important for interactive television. I'm not absolutely convinced that the most interesting stuff will happen on the television screen. I think it'll happen in conjunction across platform, in conjunction with other devices. I'm really interested in the pervasiveness of the cell phone relative to interactive TV. I think that'll be the driver, and if we can develop programming that goes cross-platform, that's synchronized and enhancing the storytelling on all these different platforms, I think that's the solution. And the consumer's going to drive it. If they don't want it, we can put 1,000 things up. If they don't want it, it doesn't work. So what's interesting is there's very few people talking about the consumer, and that worries me a lot because the consumer is going to be the ultimate judge. That you can do it is one thing. That doesn't mean it's going to be successful. I think also programmers have to get engaged more heavily because it's ultimately, if it enhances the television program, then it'll enhance it'll have better viewing. But if it's just an add-on to the advertising, it won't go anywhere. I'm a great advocate that you have to do content in lockstep with the advertising, and I think it's essential that we push on both fronts. We don't have a universal engagement rating point. We don't understand what engagement really is, but I do think you have to have the programmers on board or it doesn't work. If it's just an ad model, it doesn't work, but there's great technology now. So we have a technology standard, but we don't necessarily have the programmers on board. We're just learning.